So non-aqueous titration. Today we are going to see the non-aqueous titration. Non-aqueous titration are the titrations which are performed in the solvent medium which does not contain the water. So therefore it is called as a non-aqueous titration because the solvents which we are used here, they does not contain the water. Now, why non-aqueous titration we should perform if the aqueous titrations are there? Because there are some limitations in the aqueous titration, like very weak acids or very weak bases. We can't titrate it with the aqueous titration in water because they don't give the sharp endpoint. Therefore, for very weakly acidic and very weakly basic substances, the non-aqueous titrations are preferred. And then for the substances which are insoluble in water, for those also obviously we have to perform the non-aqueous titration because they are insoluble in water and therefore they will not give any endpoint if they are not soluble. And for the substances that is the mixture of acids, the mixture of bases, they can also be titrated separately by the non-aqueous titration. So due to these limitations of the aqueous titration, the non-aqueous titrations are performed easily and with the more accuracy. The non-aqueous titrations mainly it is based on the principle of the Bronsted-Lowry theory. According to Bronsted-Lowry theory, the acids are the substances which are the proton donor, which behave as a conjugate base, and the bases are the substances which are proton acceptor, which act as a conjugate acid. So mainly non-aqueous titrations are based on the principle of the Bronsted-Lowry theory. These are the equations, equilibrium constant equation, Ka and Kb equation for the acid and bases. Suppose CH3COOH is the weak acid, so it can dissociate in water like this, and the equation, the dissociation constant of the acid can be given like that. Here also for the weak base, the equation is given like that. So here the H2O is not included in either equilibrium expression. Here the water is not included in the equilibrium expression. So these are the equilibrium constant of acids and bases for the non-aqueous titration. Now for the non-aqueous titration, the important point is the solvents. The solvents which are used in the non-aqueous titration, they are called as a non-aqueous solvent. There are 4 types of the non-aqueous solvent, that is aprotic solvents, protogenic solvents, amphiprotic solvents, and the protophilic solvents. Aprotic solvents means we will see the first, that is the aprotic solvent. Aprotic solvents are neutral solvents, chemically neutral solvents, because they do not undergo any reaction with the acids and bases. They have no charge, and they possess low dielectric constant. They do not cause ionization in the solute. For example, toluene, carbon tetrachloride, acetonitrile, benzene, etc. are the aprotic solvents. They are neutral solvents. Okay. Protogenic means what? They are proton producing. Okay, so protogenic solvents are the acidic solvents, and they are acidic in nature and they donate the protons. Therefore, they are called as the protogenic solvents. They are more acidic than water, and they have ability to donate the protons to enhance the strength of the weak bases. These solvents have a more acidic character and tend to have leveling effect on bases they come in contact with. Okay, so these are the protogenic solvents. For example, anhydrous hydrogen fluoride, sulfuric acid, formic acid, acetic acid. These are the protogenic solvents. Then protophilic means they have affinity for the protons. They can accept the protons. They are basic in character, and they are more basic than water. They have high affinity for the protons. For example, liquid ammonia, amine, ketones, ethers. These are the protophilic solvents. Weak acids are normally used in the presence of strongly protophilic solvents as their acidic strengths are enhanced, and then it can behave as a strong acid. This is known as a leveling effect. Leveling effect means what? If the very weak acids are there, so they behave as a strong acid in the presence of the protophilic solvents. They enhanced their strength. They behave as a stronger acid, and therefore this effect is known as the leveling effect. So this effect can also be shown by the protophilic or protogenic solvents. Now the amphiprotic solvents, which have both the properties like protophilic as well as protogenic properties, they can also possess the acidic and basic properties, donate or accept the protons, and they slightly ionize and donate the protons or accept the protons. For example, alcohol, methanol, ethanol, these are the amphiprotic solvents. Acetic acid makes weak acid into strong base. Acetic acid is a weak acid which can convert the strong base, which can accept the protons from the strong base. So we can see here the acetic acid, which is a weak acid and which can combine with both protogenic and protophilic solvents and can able to donate or accept the protons. Because acetic acid is a weak acid, it can dissociate in water to produce CH2CO minus plus H plus. But in the presence of perchloric acid, it acts as a stronger acid. It will accept the proton from the perchloric acid. Because perchloric acid, and then it will behave as a strong acid. And this effect is known as the leveling effect. The weak acid act as a more stronger acid in the presence of a base or in the presence of the a strong acid or strong base, and that is known as the leveling effect. Leveling solvents, the strongly protophilic solvents are important to force equilibrium equation to the right. This effect is so powerful that in strongly protophilic solvent, all acid act as a similar strength. Okay, though it is a weak acid, it can act as a stronger acid. So this is known as the leveling effect. And the acetic acid in the presence of strong acid, perchloric acid, it can act as the strong acid. Okay, and this effect is known as the leveling effect. There are some properties of solvents required. They are listed here. The choice and properties of the solvent for a particular titration is very important. That is, the solvent should dissolve the substance to be titrated. The solvent should not introduce any side effect interfering reactions with the substance to be titrated or titrant. Should permit a large change in the solvated proton concentration near the equivalence point. Should be easily purified and preferably less expensive. So these properties the solvent should have. Titration of bases. Now here the example is given. The titrant should be very strong acid, that is perchloric acid in dioxane. So if base we want to perform the titration of bases, the titrant should be strong acid. The solvent should not be basic properties. Aprotic solvents such as benzene, chloroform, carbon tetrachloride, chlorobenzene, either alone or mixed with glacial acetic acid, may be used for the titration of the perchloric acid. Okay, so titration of bases मध्ये आपण perchloric acid use करू शकतो in dioxane to determine primary, secondary, tertiary amines, heterocyclic amines. These perchloric acid can be used, okay, as a titrant. And the solvent can be used like this. Aprotic solvents, these we can use, okay, mixed with the glacial acetic acid. Now titration of acids, the titrant should be strong base. Okay, for the titration of acids, the solution of quaternary ammonium hydroxides in organic solvents can be used as a titrant. For example, tetra-butyl ammonium hydroxide in benzene, methanol, or tetra-N-butyl, triethylene-butyl ammonium hydroxide in benzene, methanol, or solution of sodium or potassium methoxide in benzene, methanol. These titrants we can use as a titrant for the titration of acids. And solvent can be used as mixture of benzene, methanol. Very weak acids can be used as a solvent to determine the these solvents. To determine the weak organic acids, precaution amine may absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere in this case. So this is about the titration of acids of the non-aqueous titration. So now selection of solvents for non-aqueous titration. The acetic acid is used for titration of weak bases, nitrogen containing compounds. Okay, then acetonitrile, metal ethanoates, alcohols for the soaps and salts of organic acids, DMF, that is benzoic acid amide determination. These solvents we can use for this. Okay. Now, which titrants we can use for the non-aqueous titration? That is a perchloric acid in acetic acid is a very commonly used titrant for the amines, amine salt, etc. Potassium methoxide in toluene is used, or methanol is used as the titrant. Quaternary ammonium hydroxide is one of the titrant used. Okay. Now, how endpoint is detected in a non-aqueous titration? The endpoint is the critical for titration. Detection is critical for titration. It is to know the completion of the reaction and accurate determination. Visual indicators we can use for the detection of endpoint or electrochemistry method, potentiometry, amperometry, conductometry. We can use for the endpoint detection. These amperometry, conductometry are used for the color turbid solution and for the accurate endpoint. Okay. The indicators used for the non-aqueous titration are the crystal violet, 0.5% solution in glacial acetic acid. Its color changes from violet to blue, followed by green, then greenish yellow. In methyl red is used 0.2% solution in dioxane with a yellow to red change, color change. Then alpha naphthol benzene solution in acetic acid can also use as an indicator. Crystal violet, methyl red, alpha naphthol, Oracid blue B, thymol blue, methyl violet. Okay, all these are the indicators used in the non-aqueous titration. Non-aqueous titration is performed for the acids and bases, for acid halides, anhydrides, carboxylic acids, amino acids, pyrols, sulfonamides, for bases, amines, nitrogen containing heterocyclic compounds, etc. So for all these, non-aqueous titration can perform. Choice of titrant is depending on it is a base or acids. For basic compound, the titrant is the perchloric acid in glacial acetic acid is preferred, or perchloric in dioxane is preferred. For acidic compound, the titrant is the solution of sodium methoxide or lithium methoxide in the mixture of methanol or toluene, or tetra and butyl ammonium hydroxide. So these titrants can be performed, can be preferred. Okay, so these are the, see here they have given the for acidic for titration of bases and their salts, which titrant we should use, which solvent indicator we should use. For basic, which solvent, which indicator that we should use, they are given listed over this table. For potentiometric titration also, which precautions we have to take, which reference electrode we should use, which indicator electrode we should use, that is mentioned in this table. So this is all about the non-aqueous titration. And as we all know, for the titration of bases, we use the titrant as the perchloric acid. So its preparation is also very different. Perchloric acid is prepared in glacial acetic acid. The 8.5 ml of the 70% perchloric acid with 500 ml of glacial acetic acid, 21 ml of acetic anhydride, cool, add glacial acetic acid to make 1000 ml. Allow for the one day for the excess of acetic anhydride to be combined and determine the water content. Okay, so that water content should be less than the 0.02%. Okay, all water content which is present in the perchloric acid, if acetic anhydride that react with the water, and therefore less water will be there for the non-aqueous titration. So that's why prior one day the solution should be prepared of the perchloric acid. Okay, perchloric acid addition in solvent contains water, so it is exothermic and may decompose, so handle carefully. Conversion of acetic anhydride to acetic acid requires 15 to 45 minutes. Okay, so that's why we have to keep it for at least 45 minutes. Allow it to cool at room temperature before adding the glacial acetic acid. Avoid adding excess of acetic anhydride, especially when primary and secondary amines to be acid, because it may react and convert the acetylation. How the standardization of perchloric acid is performed, they have given here by using the